Hey guys, Caitlin here. I just wanted to pop on and make a quick vlog today about Disney hotels and where to stay. I get a few questions, for real, I get questions on where to stay when you go to Disney World and how I keep it affordable. There's a couple different ways that you can travel down. You can obviously stay with family. Vacation rentals are a huge thing. When Johnny and I go down in 2 months, we are staying at a vacation rental. We're doing a condo that we've stayed at the last couple years, so it's been really cool that we've been able to stay there. It's about 10-15 minutes from the parks. It allows us to have a car. It allows us to be able to have the best of both worlds when it comes to our Disney vacation, because while I would love to stay on property every day, Johnny not so much. So it compromises the best of both worlds, but it's got a pool, it's got tennis courts, it's got a little store, so there's lots of stuff to do, and it's right by the park, so it's really easy to get to. We head to Disney Springs pretty much every day, so that is definitely an option. We're going to kind of start out and then head into the parks and into Walt Disney World. There are hundreds and hundreds of hotels outside of Disney property. Everything from a Holiday Inn, a Howard Johnson. You can get more expensive with Marriott. There's tons and tons of hotels that you can choose from. So if you are a member where you earn points, maybe that is a good option for you to look at those websites to find out what the best deals might be. I've stayed at the World Center Marriott World Center, something like that. I stayed there for a convention a couple years back, and that was really great. It's a huge convention center, but that was just a few minutes up the road. Johnny and I have stayed at Holiday Inn that was just up the road off of Disney property. So easy to get to. Transportation is still relatively easy. You could take an Uber. Many of the hotels right around the area have transportation into the parks. They don't run as frequently as if you were to stay on Disney property, but they do run fairly frequently, and there's always Uber, Lyft, those kind of things that are in the area and readily available. As you head more onto Disney property, Disney has what's called Good Neighbor hotels. So they have partnerships with different hotels right around the area. The Disney Springs area, you can stay near Epcot, Animal Kingdom. So there's lots of different hotels in Disney property that are not Disney affiliated, but they kind of partner with those hotels and offer some different perks with that. So some of the hotels you can still book your fast passes 60 days in advance. Some of them have regular bus transportation. There's a lot of different things. You can get extra magic hours. So those Good Neighbor hotels have a lot of perks to them, and sometimes can come at a lower price point. They can also come at a much higher price point. So those are definitely something to look at. I have stayed in a couple of the Good Neighbor hotels and had a great experience. One was right across the street from Disney Springs, so I've actually stayed there twice, and that was a great experience right there. The Swan and Dolphin are right on Disney property. They are Marriott owned and operated, but again, partner with Walt Disney World and their hotels. So I have stayed at the Swan and Dolphin several times now. Really enjoy it. Can generally get a pretty good deal, whether I'm booking through Disney's website or through hotels.com, Travelocity, Expedia, those kind of things. I can generally find a pretty good deal for those hotels, and you are right on property. So one of the cool things that I really like about that is that you're able to walk right to Epcot, which is really cool. That is probably my favorite park right now. Can't go wrong with Magic Kingdom, but Epcot is probably my favorite park. So there is a pathway that goes through the boardwalk. You can walk right across, like right by the water, and then right into Epcot, which is really cool and really convenient. Again, you get the transportation from the Swan and Dolphin. The buses don't run quite as frequently from what I can kind of tell, but they do run all the time and have been really great as far as transportation options go. That is definitely one of the huge benefits to staying on property is the transportation. So something that Disney offers when you do stay on an on-property hotel, such as one of their value resorts, moderate or deluxe resorts, is you can use the Disney Magical Express. So that system is in place to pick you up from the airport for whatever airline you fly in on. It will take you directly to your hotel. They'll take care of your luggage. If you have a carry-on, you can just bring that with you, but they will take care of any checked bags. And you don't have to worry about it. It's magic. It shows right up at your room later in the day. So that is a really great thing. You don't have to worry about parking. You don't have to worry about a car. So that is something nice that Disney offers. So it just kind of depends on what you value. If you value that, get up and go, you can kind of just get in your car, you can go to the grocery store, that kind of thing. But that's a whole other vlog because you can have groceries delivered right to you. So I think that is worth the little bit extra cost that it does cost to stay on property. So I mentioned quickly that there's value resorts, moderate resorts, and deluxe resorts. So those are the 3 tiers that Disney offers. And it's really just kind of that simple. Your value resorts are going to be your very basic hotels, typically double or queen size beds in the rooms, super basic. You get a shower, you get a bathtub, you get a toilet, 2 beds, and a TV. So those are going to be a really great option for people who are on a budget. I've stayed at them numerous times. I would stay at them for dance team competitions. I've stayed at them for quick trips. They're just a room, and that is really, for a lot of people, all you need. They're completely fine. The food courts in there I like them. A lot of people disagree with me, but I like the food courts. I think they're a good addition and a relatively inexpensive way to eat on property. So that's a really good option. All the hotels on Disney property do have a food court or food options available to them, whether they've got restaurants or just a food court in them. So the value resorts tend to have 2 pools, which is great so that it kind of spreads out the crowds. That's where a lot of the people are going to go. Again, it is the most affordable. Some of them are as low as $89, $90 a night, up into like the 120s. I will say this though, when Johnny and I were looking to tack on a couple days for our trip in November, we weren't able to get a value resort. There's something available. So those do tend to sell out, especially around big events. So like I mentioned, they use them for the dance and cheer competitions, tournaments, soccer, volleyball, all of those kind of things. And it's popular because it's an inexpensive way to stay right on Disney property with all those perks. You do get the on-property transportation. So the bus system throughout Walt Disney World will pick you up at your hotel and take you to your destination. So they'll take you to the parks, they'll take you to Disney Springs, the water parks. If you need to go in between hotels, it's very easy to navigate. So that is a really great option. So the moderate resorts are going to offer a little bit more as far as their amenities are concerned, but they're still pretty basic hotels. So it's just kind of, if you want to spend a little bit more time in the room, I would opt for that. But they're beautiful. They tend to have a little bit more muted theming to them. So your value resorts are highly themed. There's also movies, music, etc. And so the moderate resorts tend to be a little bit more muted on their theming, and they're beautiful, they're great, and they work perfectly fine. Your deluxe resorts are going to be resorts that have a lot more to them. So they tend to have signature restaurants in them. They are often part of Disney Vacation Club hotels, but that is going to be a deluxe hotel. So you're going to pay a significant amount more than you would for a value resort, but those amenities are there for you. So you're looking at the Grand Floridian, the Polynesian, the Contemporary, places like that are definitely higher priced. I would love to stay in one of those hotels. I've got my eye on the Polynesian. I'm going to make it happen one day. But they're, it just really depends on what type of vacation that you want to have. If you are like, we're going to the parks, we're going to do all the parks, and we are going from sunup to sundown, or we want to go to the pool, a value resort is going to be a really great option for you. You don't need to necessarily spend all of that money, and that can be spent in different ways, or perhaps you're on a tighter budget. So that's a really great way to have the best of both worlds. If you are maybe staying for a couple weeks and you have plans to stay more in the rooms and not be in the park so much, and you really want that kind of home experience, a deluxe resort could be a really great option for you. The Contemporary actually has a walking path right to Magic Kingdom, where Polynesian and Grand Floridian, you can take a boat over there. So very easy to get to Magic Kingdom from those 3 resorts, which is definitely a perk. So I talked about the different hotels off property and on property. I talked a little bit about the transportation system that is included when you stay on property. Definitely a huge benefit. I think that if you are looking at the overall cost of your trip, taking a look at that added transportation is going to be huge for you. We are going to spend for our November trip about $400, $350 to $400 on a rental car for the week. So, if we were to stay on property, while we would be probably paying a little bit more for our stay, we wouldn't be paying for that transportation. So it just kind of depends on what you and your family or your partner want to do for your trip and where your priorities lie on that. So just a few different things and tips for you guys. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. I'm happy to answer them, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. One more thing. What do you think about Disney trips and tips? Let me know. Thanks, guys.